Got out and I realized that Aryan would come back for the next talk, but that did not happen. So my name is Zoran Despotovic from Munich Research Center, and what I will tell you today a little bit about is this 16G association and what we do in that association. In principle, I'm chairing the working group 2.
Close the microphones.
Yeah, just close that one.
Infinite loop.
Okay, great. So I'm chairing working group 2 in this 16G association, which is essentially about enabling technologies. Many topics which were discussed actually up to now are also covered in working group 2, and many other topics which I will mention shortly. And but I have to say I will not be that technical. I mean, I have really no time. My expertise doesn't permit that either, because I'm not an expert in all, I think, 14 technologies which we are covering. I will just briefly mention what is going on in the association in this working group 2, and from time to time I will be more technical, especially on the topics which I can discuss some to some depth. Mentioning working group 2, let me just say that we have in total 4 working groups in 16G, and by far most attendees are or more participants are in this working group 2, but many people come and talk about the technologies. But this is not to say that only working group 2 is important. Working group 1 about use cases mainly. Working group 2, as I said. Working group 3 is more for communication and public relations and organizing external events such as our 16G summit. And so they really do a great job there. And working group 4 is for prototyping. So these people are really on the point on making concrete demos and prototypes of individual technologies. What I can say briefly about working group 2, that's about technologies, and we are currently covering something like 14 in total. The work is structured within work items. So in principle, one technology, one topic is a work item. Let me give an example of MIMO. MIMO is one work item. How you create work item? If there is interest among partners, participants, you just come together and you write a small description of what will be the work inside, and there is a small procedure, just approval procedure that we go to the board and approve a new work item. So that's easy. This is to say that whatever I say, whatever is there already, in principle, this is what is there right now. It can be extended always, it can be changed. That is all depending on the interest of the participants. In principle, that's the way how we work. Before going to these individual work items, let me also tell you maybe 1 or 2 sentences about the association as a whole. So what is it? Founded, I think, 3 years ago, or slightly more than that. We have now grown. I think that we have around 150 members, universities, companies, institutes, etc. We are a non-profit association, but we changed recently the status, so became registered in Zurich, in Canton of Zurich, in the commercial register, as a non-profit association, with the possibility of in-kind contribution, so to say. This is to say, when you join 16G association, there is absolutely no fee that you have to pay. But members who want can provide some contribution, which will be used then for things such as paying membership. some, for example, standards work. Because of that, I mean, after this initial phase, when we did not have that possibility, we just figured out that we can have a better impact. We can reach out to wider audience. We can actually have a better association if we join, for example, some standards organizations and etc. So due to that, we recently became members of IT1, and I just learned that this is really a fresh information. We became a peer of TGPP, so we can also kind of influence or talk about next releases when it comes. We can discuss those. Essentially, being a platform for discussion of technologies and concrete technical things, we really try to summarize all the discussions and all the developments in these work items of technology and publish those in a what we call Working Group 2 white paper. And this is just snapshot of the latest edition of the white paper, which was published just before our summit in September. The summit was in Valencia. Saying white paper, you usually expect something like 20 pages, max high level thing, but this is not the case. This is actually a whole book. I think we have now 200 pages here with all technologies. One chapter, one section is one technology, and normally we write really long overviews of what is going on within that technology. It's meant more like an overview of all involved technologies. The topics which are covered are right there, and just for this edition, there was sustainability and a new topic. And in every edition, we actually update all sections according to new research done in the corresponding section. The link is there. You can check what is inside. I have one snapshot just from AI part. How we write. It's a typical kind of a survey paper of which you are familiar with, and then each section becomes more or less a survey paper. Probably more focus shifted, with slightly shifted focus towards what the partners did, but also very objective in the sense that what others have done. So let me now go to one by one of these technologies, and you can understand. I will not really go into most likely mention only briefly what are those technologies, and at some point I will simply do it. But okay. So the first work item that we have, we named them BWI 200 something 2 or 2 and then 01, 02, 04, whatever. Now, I decided just to follow this numbering when I the slides, but semantically it's probably not the best. I will maybe jumping from wireless to some other aspects. But okay. So WI 204 is essentially telecom. This is about high frequencies, and you can simply see what kind of topic these people are after. Essentially, as usual, they want to track use cases for terahertz. This is the essential starting point. Then they are interested in channel measurements, modeling, and device architecture for terahertz. These things. And because the presentation itself was slightly focused on 224, that part I'm just mentioning what the main achievements were in that period. So they were really active in this ETSI ISG on terahertz proposals over there, and they were also having some interactions with another work item on Isaac within Working Group 2, because they found that reasonable because of this European project times, which is mentioned here. Yeah, before I go further, in principle, it is on those people, those participating in one work item, to decide on what kind of interaction they will have. On the one hand, you can simply organize meetings, have presentations, maybe someone has some idea, present, and that's all. That can be just one possibility. Another possibility, or maybe the other, totally.
Want to remove
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
WG, sorry.
The other extreme would be you work together so tightly that you actually produce a paper together. You have a common application. You have a common result. That is a case in some work items. In this one, the other one, that was not the case. They were more interested in providing contribution to these internal discussions. But in some work items, you will see that actually they produced a couple of papers. I can mention that a couple of them, Arjan was also active. So the 205 is, of course, radioactive. It's something that must be there. And the topics that they are interested in, you can simply see about resource sharing. It's about these advanced access mechanisms and multi-connectivity. They are also talking about, they have a couple of partners from university who are into semantic communications. That is one they have interest in as well. And all that for to make the access with the goal, make the access as flexible and efficient as possible for this new set of use cases, which is expected in 6G that everyone is talking about. As a snapshot, just an example, a couple of papers from our colleagues from Aalborg, so Israel and Peter, something that they produced partly in collaboration with others in the work item. And as far as I know, they should have submitted actually now a common paper for ICC. So that's another possibility. You can, if you see that possible, depends on your position and your communication with the other partners. You can simply even write a paper on a common topic together. Particularly active in that sense was this work item on network computing and this merging of computing and communication. They were extremely active, and I can say they had already 3 publications written together. It's a couple of partners, and they're really sitting in joining the calls, exchanging ideas, and they end up with writing papers together. They had an ICC publication, I think last year. They had this is WCNC workshop, and they had another paper in 6G Net conference this year, and what they are interested in, basically creating a kind of computing platform, computing communication platform out of a 3GPP network. So, because we have a strong industrial partners inside, I'm curious to see what they will bring, or whether something of this will go to release 20 these requirements, which is now starting in 3GPP, so that we really have a concrete output result in that sense. That's your sense. Yeah, I just spotted 6G lecture, open lecture here in the probably I can mention, comment on that. From time to time we organize, I think 2-3 months, 3 months maybe, 4 a year. Yeah, it should be something like that. Quarterly basis. We organize open lectures on a particular topic. We invite a wide audience spread. So actually, Schmeling working group 3 are doing that. And these are extremely popular. I would say excellent speakers, and so far they really generate a lot of interest in the wide audience. So probably it's something that you can also follow. Although the previous work item had something on AI, on split AI, and one of the papers was talking about split AI architecture, and these things we have actually a work item which deals specifically with AI, or it's more kind of federated learning tuned towards that. While the others are talking about maybe creating the impact in the network architecture, this AI research, these people are focusing really on AI as such. So they are optimizing parameters, changing learning models and these things. So they're more interested in that. Just as an example, this is one paper that they made together, which is about I think optimizing the energy consumption. Yeah, in federated learning environment. But basically, they created a model how nodes consume energy for computing and for communication, for transmission power, as they call, and then they are optimizing how to split the learning of how to such that they minimize the total amount of energy spent on that. Nice common work. But again, the point is, if you want, you can go to that level of work. Otherwise, you can just exchange ideas and see what others are doing and things like that. All is possible and all is on the partners. From the 1.6G point of view, I would say everyone would appreciate if we have this tight integration, tight collaboration between the partners. But this is not a must. You really, as I said, for example, in MIMO, they did not so far focused on producing common publications, but rather discussing things. And this is most of the morning was about these topics. So I would not go into any detail on that. Especially, this is not my background. I would not dare to mention these topics but this is to say we have also a MIMO work item, and these people are also active in it. Actually, I think you were also.
I think Martin
Schubert is there, and Edward from Braunschweig, and I think Turcel colleagues are also there, and yeah. Isaac, unavoidable. Is correct. Isaac is a group since the beginning. I would say they are very active in the sense of organizing and disseminating the ideas. They were not also producing like the others, but in terms of disseminating and organizing external events, they are excellent. So you can topic-wise, you can see it's about integrating sensing and communication waveform, and the other way around, integrating communication and sensing waveform. They are simply open to everything, and also creating totally new waveforms. They had a couple of nice discussions also with the industrial partners. I just spotted a typo in Roden Schwartz. It was not a German who wrote it, but okay. They were also very active in that scene. It's working with one ISG. Isaac Richard is actually a vice chair of that one. Andrea is from Bologna. Andrea Giorgetti is a liaison kind of person for communicating with Etsy and 1.6G, and I would say they created a lot of buzz with the topics on Isaac. NTN, let me start maybe from down. We had these two chapters in the book that you
Yeah,
were,
I see a lot of my things are in your slides.
exactly. Okay, so you were active here, and people from this work item have contributed actually 2 chapters to the book, so they were active in that sense. Topic-wise, from use cases and a couple of let's say integration and the terrestrial non-terrestrial integration topics, multi-connectivity as a kind of different view of terrestrial and non-terrestrial integration. So these are the topics that they're interested in, but again, that was a nice possibility actually that you were there and that with Mohammed and that you created this opportunity that people provide inputs to the books and which they took. That was excellent. And actually, when I in the board meetings when I mentioned, this is one of the achievements which I cite always as something really good. Yeah, this was another active in which another work item in which you were very active, and this work item has created really a lot of output. It's on multimodal sensing, communication, and control of 6G remote operation, talking about these tough use cases, so to say, and how to what changes in the system to enable them. And they had in 2023 they had papers or one paper, but they had a lot of panels organized together at a series of important conferences and WCNC and PMRC, etc. And they just continued. Again, same approach. They were really active, and not unfortunately. I mean, that was their decision to stop the activity of this work item because they are now transitioning to another one. I would say, which I will mention shortly. But they are not active anymore because of that other work item on robotics. But that's their decision. This is a work item started a couple of months ago on sustainability. I have to say, I've heard in the morning during the morning presentations a couple of ideas on energy efficiency, how you can save energy. But basically, if you, I had maybe a month ago, I had another talk just on sustainability somewhere else, and then I said in the talk that probably you have 3 methods, three ways to save energy. Networking context, over the context. One is to create better hardware, better devices, which are more energy efficient. So they use less energy for the same thing, for the same communication type, better way forward, whatever. So that's one possibility. Other one is to optimize the network usage. So if you know which, and if you have profiles how your network knows, so base station to the router and whatever, just watch if you can, as real time as you can. Just watch what is going on in the network. The usage, that's one possibility. You can cut maybe some %. And the third one, but basically in that talk I said, yes, that's great, but there are limits. Maybe you can cut, I don't know, a couple of %, but still there will be a problem that if you have a better device, there will be more usage. So the network will be used more. If you have less energy in the network because you optimize something, again, the usage will go up. So in the end, you will not actually reduce energy, even though you have absolutely beautiful devices in that sense. The third method is actually what is external, so the energy consumption. You bring it in you internalize it somehow in the sense that actually the users are spending energy, not the providers. The providers are network providers are paying for the energy that the users are actually creating. That the energy is being spent because we are watching videos and things like that. So if you can somehow involve the user and then provide corresponding or appropriate incentives for the user to think about what is going on with energy sense, that is the third way. And probably it's the one sustainable in the long term, that the user should pay attention to what is going on with the network energy wise. Only if we have that, we can probably expect the energy cut of 50% that ITU is talking about, that United Nations are postulating for ICT. Anyway, if you would have any questions on that, I would be happy to answer, because this is exactly what I'm in. Actually, yesterday I'm coming from. I came from a project meeting on SNS project on that topic exactly. So we are into that, and this third possibility to involve the user is actually what we are following in the project and also in this work item. And the final one, I just said it's 213 work item, which was very active on multi-level sensing communication. So they now transitioned into this work item, which is more about robotics. And again, probably quite some overlapping set of people which were there are now here, and again, very active and productive. And although they started just a couple of months ago, they already had some panels and workshops organized on the plan. Topic-wise, it's about it's more about robotics. I think whether that thing can be brought and how it can be brought. I think that brings me to the end of the presentation. But before I stop, let me just say one sentence. As I said, 1CG, totally non-profit association. If you want to join, if you are not members and you want to join, be easy. And there is an easy procedure. Just click on membership and on the website, and you go express your interest. You will be